Welcome back to today's lecture on plasma proteins. I'm your presenter, Dr. Mausmi Shankaradala, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Biochemistry, St. Joseph's College for Women Autonomous, Visakhapatnam. This lecture is a part of certificate course named General Physiology, which was run by Department of Biochemistry at St. Joseph's College for Women Autonomous, Visakhapatnam. The duration of the course is 8 weeks and it is open for everybody, especially for the graduate students between degree first year and final year. The contents of today's lecture include introduction, types of plasma proteins, their functions, what is the importance of the plasma proteins, and in the ending we'll be concluding with a summary. Basic introduction about the plasma proteins. Plasma proteins are very essential components of blood plasma which play a major role in maintaining the physiological functions. The major plasma proteins include albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen, and each of them will have a specific function. Among all the three, albumin is the most abundant plasma protein, and this albumin is produced inside the liver. Albumin plays a vital role in maintaining osmotic pressure and proper distribution of body fluids. Albumin is also acting as a carrier protein for hormones, vitamins, and drugs. This albumin is pretty famous for carrying the fatty acid oxidation procedure, where uh, the fatty acid molecules will be transported in the blood. The next one is the globulins. These globulins are divided into three major parts: alpha, beta, and gamma globulins, based on their function and electrophoretic mobility. Gamma globulins are also called as immunoglobulins, which is, as we all know, the first line of defense. That is, within the body, we have the immunity developed. And this is because of the antibodies naturally present in us and produced in us. They are immunoglobulins. These immunoglobulins belong to the category gamma globulins of plasma proteins. And as the name suggests, they play a very important role in immunity. They also act as antibodies that protect the body from pathogens. The alpha and beta globulins are mainly involved in transport functions. They'll be transporting lipids, fat soluble vitamins, and metal ions. Now, different types of plasma proteins in detail we'll be seeing. The major plasma proteins include albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen. And this albumin is most abundant plasma protein which is produced in the liver. It helps in maintaining the osmotic pressure and proper distribution of body fluids. The albumin also acts as a carrier protein for hormones, vitamins, and drugs. The globulins, which are divided into alpha, beta, and gamma globulins, which are based on the functional electrophoretic mobility. The gamma globulins, which are called as immunoglobulins, play a very major role in the immunity. Now, albumins and globulins in general, if you see, the albumin is the most abundant one, and then the globulins helps in the transport. Also, here we have to check the next important point, that is your fibrinogen. Fibrinogen acts as a plasma protein, which is essential for the blood clotting. We all know if there is a wound, there is a damage in the blood vessel, the blood will leak, means there is a loss of blood. Since the major function of the blood is transport of oxygen. So now what happens whenever the blood flow is continuous, there is a loss of blood from the body. Obviously, the oxygen carrying capacity decreases. So this leads to hypoxia conditions which may be fatal. So to prevent this, to prevent the loss of blood from a wound, that is damaged blood vessel, the fibrinogen is important. Why? The fibrinogen is a plasma protein which is converted into fibrin threads during the clotting procedure. Therefore, this fibrin forms a network that traps the blood cells and helps in clot formation. Functions, as we all know pretty well, the plasma proteins help in maintaining the blood viscosity and pH balance. They also contribute to the buffering capacity of the blood. As we all know, blood is commonly known as blood buffer. Why? Because since we have all the organs inside the body, organ systems, tissues and cells, blood is the main connecting tissue for everything. So if it is either acidic or basic, definitely there will be some abnormalities caused. So to maintain that blood buffer, we say the blood acts as a buffer, maintaining the internal environment of the body, and they play a major role in immune response and defense mechanism. Yes, which cells? The globulins. The globulins, as we have read, alpha, beta, and gamma. The gamma globulins are also called as immunoglobulins. These are definitely useful for the immuno immunological response. So when it comes for immunity, we have both self immunity and adaptive, that is native immunity and adaptive immunity. Native immunity means which is generated by self, and some part is hereditary. So here the immunoglobulins that are present within your body are maximum the innate immunity. Whereas adaptive immunity means something that we get into the body through your vaccines or by any other means other than natural. So in this immune response and defense mechanism, the plasma protein, especially your globulins, play a very crucial role. They also assist in the transport of nutrients and metabolic products. As we all know, blood is a connecting tissue. So once we eat the food, it gets digested. After digestion, the minerals has to be carried through the required organs. Okay. So how will they leave from the digestive system to the particular organs? It is only through the blood. So blood consists of majorly, we have approximately 5 liters of blood in the body. In that, 2.7 to 3 liters constitutes only plasma. Now, when it comes to plasma, plasma is made up of water mainly, 92% water and 8% of the cells. In that 8% of the cells, we have these proteins. Okay, the proteins are divided into albumins, globulins, and fibrinogen. Fibrinogen is required for your blood clotting. Albumins is required for your maintenance of osmotic pressure and internal balance, and globulins are involved in the immunity, which is very useful. Summing up, plasma proteins are essential components of blood plasma and play very vital role in maintaining the physiological functions. The major plasma proteins include albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen, and each is having a specific function. Among all the plasma proteins, that is albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen, albumin is the most abundant plasma protein, and this is produced in the liver. These are mainly involved in fatty acid oxidation for carrying, okay, fat molecules. And also the albumins are the smallest in size among all the plasma proteins. And when you uh, take a blood in centrifuge tube and you do the centrifugation procedure, so the bottommost layer is your red blood cells sedimented, above that is the white blood cells, above that is a water liquid kind of thing that is settled down, not settled down, like it is collected on the topmost part, that is your plasma. So in that plasma you are having these proteins which are very much useful and required for your immunity, for your transportation, and also maintaining the physiological balance. So that is the reason plasma proteins holds a very specific place in the biology. Albumin is the most abundant plasma protein known, and it is produced by the liver. And dear students, these are the references that you need to go through. So summing up quickly, Guyton and Hall textbook of medical physiology, written by Guyton and Hall. Essentials of medical physiology, written by K. Sembalingam and Prema Sembalingam. Human anatomy and physiology, written by the authors Elaine, Mark, and Hohen. Review of medical physiology, written by Kim Barrett, Susan, Hedwin, Brooks, Jason, and the textbook of medical biochemistry and physiology, written by M.N. Chatterjee, Rana Shinde. So, plasma proteins are very important for maintaining the osmotic pressure, maintaining the immunity, and for blood clotting. With this, the plasma proteins play a major role in the physiology process. Thank you.